Hey there, friends. My name's Antonio, and welcome to Back at the Ranch. Hope you guys have been doing good and enjoying the videos that I've been putting out. So, I got a few comments, not online, but just comments like, man, you're all over the place. You're at the beach, you're at the ranch, you're at games. What's this channel all about? It's about me and my life. That's basically it, right? So, we're actually still in South Padre Island. Somebody asked me, it's like, I noticed that you've been telling me in person that you're at the island. I haven't seen videos. All your videos are at the ranch or doing other things, right? My videos are actually about, I'd say, 2 months out, sometimes 3 months out. The reason for that is I do have a full-time job. This is not my full-time job. I'm doing this as a hobby now and just sharing with everybody what I do, at least for fun, right? Not what I do for work. So right now, this very moment, as I'm recording this, I'm still at South Padre Island. It's August 28th, I believe. This video, when you're watching it, will probably be in late September. I don't know, maybe even October. I'm not sure. I said that wrong, but October, September. Yeah, I've had a few. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, number three, maybe four. I lost count. What's your beverage of choice, by the way? You have to see my whiskey reviews, but I drink beer too. So anyway, what I was trying to say is my videos are always in arrears, right? And that's because I do not have time to do videos live. I don't have time to do them the same day like other bloggers do. I'm doing this hoping to get some subscribers, and it's gone up. I believe we're at about 107 at this point, at the point that I'm making this video. Hopefully, by the time the video posts, I'll be much higher than that. But I hope you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. Basically, what it comes down to. Now, why am I doing this in the Glen, right? In the Glen Heritage RV, which is where I've been living for the last month. And I'll probably be living here till October 23rd. But you notice I'm in the kitchen. Technically, I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the living room, I'm in the dining room. So it's just one big room. The reason I'm here is I'm going to cook for you guys today. And I'm going to do something that I've done before. The reason I'm going to do this is I had a guest over, Ramon, who you met in a previous video, and we went fishing. We didn't catch anything that was a trophy fish or anything worth filming. We just got a whole bunch of little whitings, croakers, sand trout, which was they're good to eat, but they're not fun to catch when it comes to big catches, right? So anyway, we got here, filleted all those fish, and I made him my famous rice and fish, and he was like, "Man, this is great. I've never had this before." It's like, didn't you watch that video that I posted? He watches my videos. I know he does, because we talked about a few of them. My videos can be long sometimes, 20, 30 minutes. I think I've had a few of them that have been an hour, even over an hour. That one where we talked with Albert for a while. But there's one video I did, and you can click here if you want to go watch it, or maybe it's here. I always forget which way to point. I came fishing out at the island with Jasmine, my daughter. We visited SpaceX, and at the end of that video, we actually made my famous rice and fish. This video, I'm just making the rice and fish. That's it. But before I get into that, I just want to ask, how are you guys liking the videos? What do you like the most? What do you like the least? What would you like to see more of? I'm still going to vlog my everyday life, but I've noticed that some videos get a lot more views than others. For example, I did a knife review on a Kershaw Blur, which is kind of a filler video. It actually has the most views, and my mind was blown. I was like, wow, this is an old knife that's been out for years, like I want to say more than 8 years, and it's still getting reviews, and it actually has the most comments. If you want to see that one, you can click here if you haven't seen that one. Again, not sure where the click is, but you get the idea. Um, I'm not getting a whole bunch of views to where I'm going to be internet famous, but it got the most views, right? So I'm trying to figure out the formula here. What does my audience want to watch? The only way I'm going to know, leave it down, as Pogo Bat used to say, leave it in the doobly-doo. So if you don't know who Pogo Bat is, old school YouTuber. I've been watching YouTube for many, many years. We actually don't watch TV anymore. So let's move over to the kitchen. So I'm going to give you a top-down view on how I make my rice and fish. By the way, I've been fishing every day, not every day, at least 4 days a week for the last month that I've been here at South Padre. Fishing's been horrible. I wanted to make fishing videos for you guys, and it's not happening. I take that camera every day and I record, and I'm like, oh, another skunk day. My hands smell. It's like I got no fish. Well, I went down to the local store, to the local grocery store, and got myself some steelhead trout. So it's a freshwater slash saltwater fish, but got a good price on it. It was a big old fillet. Cut it up in 4 to 5 pieces. Vacuum sealed it. Put a bunch of them in the freezer. I'm going to cook a piece of that today using our stove here. So let's go over to the stove and show you how to make my famous rice and fish. All right. So first of all, let's start with ingredients. Here's your trout. Beautiful. Just trout, by the way, if you've never had steelhead trout, it's very similar to salmon, which a lot of people have had salmon or salmon, depending on where you're from and how you say it, right? But get your fish of choice. It doesn't matter what type of fish it is. This just happens to be what I have today, right? Of course, we have the rice. In this case, I'm the only one that's going to eat today, so I did about uh, 3/4 a cup of rice, which I was going to go with half, but then I decided if there's leftover, I can eat tomorrow. And I've been here by myself. I like to use bacon grease usually to fry my rice, but don't have any bacon grease at the moment, so I'll be using this basil flavored olive oil. You can also use corn oil or vegetable oil or anything else. By the way, you guys know I like whiskey. Do you ever have an empty whiskey bottle, especially a Jack Daniels bottle? You take that label off and it makes a perfect oil bottle, cooking oil bottle. That's awesome. But let's jump over to this bowl here. So this is my spices, and I kind of poured them out for you guys already just to expedite this. But the here I'll point with my spoon. So that is a chicken bouillon powder. Um, gosh, I don't even know how much it is. I eyeball. That's hard to say. I eyeball. There you go. I eyeball everything when it comes to spices. So you've got your chicken bouillon, onion powder, pepper, that is cilantro, that is garlic jalapeno, cayenne pepper, and that little tiny bit right there, that is comino or cumin, right? So those are the spices that I'm going to be using in that little pot right there. So let me get this started. If I stop talking, by the way, in between as I'm doing stuff, I'm taking a sip. Why don't you get yourself your favorite beverage and enjoy it while I'm doing this as well? Let me know in the comments what your favorite beverage is, whether it be an adult beverage or Kool-Aid, doesn't matter. Okay, so I do apologize for the horrible angle, but I'm using my phone on a tripod in a tight space, and you can tell it's a very, very small stove. Uh, Plenty of warnings in an RV, by the way, of what to do, what not to do, and what to watch out for. So let's get this fire started. Here we go. Very simply, add your oil. Oil of choice. Doesn't matter what oil you're going to add. So if you have a preferred flavor, use that oil. That's it. Just enough to coat the bottom. Don't go crazy with it, right? Spread it out. You can even use butter, as a matter of fact, if you want. So I'm gonna let that oil warm up a little bit, and I'll be right back. And while that warms up, that's why I opened this thing right here. By the way, that's a Shiner Bock, by the way. If you're not from Texas, that's a Texas beer, one of my favorites. Well, I got some friends from Texas, and they say, you drink that crap? They don't like good stuff. They prefer that other blue can. My mom drinks the blue can. Nothing wrong with it. I prefer not to drink it, though. All right, so olive oil kind of starts burning pretty quick. Um, I actually had to pull it off the fire for a second and turn it down, but that's nice and hot. Now we grab our rice. Again, I'm using 3/4 cup. Typically, it's a 2-to-1 ratio, meaning 2 cups of water to, excuse me, two of whatever it is. Let me rephrase. If you use 1 cup of rice, you need 2 cups of water typically. I would add just a hair more, which you can do a little bit later. So in this case, I'm going for, gosh, I said 2/3. Okay, I've had a few beer. That's how much rice I got. Let's move on. So just put this in your oil. Oil's nice and warm there, hot. Stir it around a bit. You can use a wooden spoon, use a plastic spoon, you can use a steel spoon. Doesn't matter what kind of spoon you use. But if you have a non-stick pan like this, don't use metal on a non-stick. You can really mess it up. So you notice all I did there was coat the rice. And I'm going to turn up the heat again. I'm going to brown that rice. Right? So I'm going to let it warm up a bit. I'm going to stir and stir and stir until that rice is nice and brown. So pretty much at this point, now that it's hot, just keep stirring it. And the reason you want to keep stirring it is it will burn. And burnt rice does not taste as good as fried rice. Matter of fact, burnt rice doesn't taste good at all. So, I'll be back in a few minutes once this is browned. Okay. We have been stirring and warming it up and browning for a few minutes and nice and brown. Again, there's a few of them a little bit more brown than others, but not burnt. That's what's important. Next step, I like to take it off the fire for a second, let it cool off down. When I say let it cool off, I'm not talking about the rice, I'm talking about the pan. The reason for that is if it's super hot, because of that oil, when you add the water, it's going to steam, it's going to go all over the place, and if it's cooled down a bit, it doesn't steam as bad. So I've already measured out my water. Um, I don't even know exactly where I'm at, and I'm about a cup and a half, more or less. Um, Again, 2-to-1. 2-to-1 meaning 2 cups of water to 1 cup of rice. You do the math depending on how much rice you decide to do. And then you add a little bit more water at the end, and you'll see that in a second. So I'm going to turn on this fan for a second. I apologize if it gets loud. I'll hold this up here. Pour a little bit of that water, let the steam go, and then we put the rest of it in. There we go. That fan can turn off now. So, I'm going to crank this up. Oop. I say crank it up. This is a RV stove. It's a little different than a regular stove. I shut it off. Cranked it up. We're going to bring this to a boil. But before we do, all those spices we talked about, dump them in. By the way, these are the spices I like to use. You can season it however you want to season it. It doesn't have to be these same ones. I like my stuff very well seasoned, as you can tell. That's a lot of spice for a little bit of rice. But I like salty. I like spice. Matter of fact, I like spice so much that I forgot to mention one of my secret ingredients. And I like to add cayenne pepper. Or serranos, or whatever is available. If I had chili piquin, that would be the ones I'm adding. I would add a handful of that. So, at this point, well mixed. Let it come to a boil. I'll be right back. Okay, so we almost have a rolling boil here. So, a little stir. Just want to make sure that rice doesn't stick to the bottom. But once it starts boiling, bring this down to a simmer. Set a timer. In my case, I'm going to set the timer for 8 minutes. And the reason I'm going to do 8 minutes is I want enough water left over in there to steam this fish. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. This is a pretty thick piece of fish. If you're using fillets of, I don't know, trout fillets, if you're using croaker fillets, which is what I did the other day, then you can set your timer for about 10 minutes. But the total time for the rice is going to be anywhere from 10 to 13 minutes depending on how much rice you're doing. At this point, I'm going to cover it, set my timer for those 8 minutes, and I'll be back in 8 minutes with you. Timer set for 8 minutes. Yeah, probably about 7 minutes left on it. But if you don't want to hear me ramble, you just want to see how that turns out, you can fast forward 7 minutes. I don't mind. It's okay. I'm going to open another one of these while I talk to you guys. So there's some of you that might be watching this channel for the very first time. And if you clicked on this because you like the thumbnail, or you saw the name, or you saw this weird beard or something, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. This channel, as I mentioned earlier, is about our ranch and really my day-to-day at the ranch and doing my photography. If you look at my logo, by the way, so notice there's a deer, there's a hog, there's a turkey, there's a fish, and there's a camera, like a little shutter camera option. I am a professional photographer. I love to fish. I love to hunt. I have a family, and we just do stuff. So this is just maybe me, really. I don't focus on any one thing. So if you're looking for a specialty channel that focuses, say, on cooking, or just hunting, or just fishing, or just photography, this might not be the channel for you. But if you like this guy and the character that I am, I'd appreciate it if you follow me. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave some comments below. Let me know, again, do you like what you're seeing? And if this, again, is the first video that you are watching ever of Back at the Ranch, click this link right here. And this is going to take you to the playlist of pretty much everything, all my vlogs. In the very beginning, which I don't even know how many months it's been since I started this. It's been a very interesting journey, and I really appreciate everyone that's been watching these videos. Again, I've gotten feedback from people that I don't even know, like, hey, I've seen your videos, I heard about you from so-and-so, and it's like a friend of a friend or a coworker that somebody else knew, and they spread the word. And again, I appreciate all the feedback. I really appreciate the feedback if it was in the comment section, because that helps me grow. YouTube will actually push my videos out to others if they see that there's engagement. So I appreciate the verbal feedback, the in-person feedback, but leave it down below. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what questions you have. If you've watched all the other videos, and if you haven't, once you've watched them, come back to this one or on the next video or on the last one. Wherever you want to leave the comment, doesn't matter. Just leave the comment. Send me a direct message, if you will, or send me an email. Better yet, email is backattheranchstx@gmail.com. That's it. Very simple. Backattheranchstx, which stands for South Texas, by the way. So backattheranchstx@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying what's going on? Let me know how you like it. So the beer started to talk. I think I lost count. I think it was a 6-pack. I'm on number 4, 5. There's one left. Again, if this is the first time that you are watching this channel, Back at the Ranch, my name's Antonio, as I already mentioned at the very beginning here. There's a bunch of cool videos that I've made. At least they're cool in my mind. Hopefully you guys think the same way. You can let me know. But I've made a few hunting videos. We've got a turkey video, 2 turkey videos as a matter of fact, where we went turkey hunting. One was actually a hog hunt that turned to a turkey hunt. I've done a couple of cooking videos. I want to say at least 2. trying to remember. It's good and bad that I can't remember because it kind of sucks that I can't remember. But it's good that I've done so many videos that I can't remember. That means that I've done quite a few. Um, but if you like the ranch life, and when I say the ranch life, I want to clarify. We don't have an operating ranch. We have an old family ranch. When I say old, it's been handed down generation over generation. You can click on this link right here to learn a little bit more about the ranch. Old operating ranch that was used for cattle for many years. And I want to say 95, 96, somewhere around there, we stopped leasing the ranch. I say we, the family stopped leasing the ranch for cattle purposes, or at least the person that used to use it for cattle stopped leasing. Not sure why, but we would lease it for hunting. So it's an old cattle ranch that is not working for cattle, but it's been used for hunting for many years. But the person or persons, because it's been leased to three different people that have used it for hunting, would only really hunt deer season. Like that's the big thing in South Texas. Oh, it's deer season. Let's go hunting. All right. It has been 8 minutes, maybe a little bit more. I'm going to pull this off the fire real quick and cover. Yep, we are a little bit low on water because while this stove is on simmer, it's actually a little bit hotter than simmer, I've noticed. So I'm going to grab a little bit of extra water. A little bit of extra water. I'm going to add that in there, which you may or may not need to do. Again, this is not the greatest stove in the world, so if your stove costs a lot more than this one does, well, actually, this is kind of an expensive stove when you think of the fact that it was included with this RV. So, if you have a much higher quality stove than this one, you may not need to add the water if you have a true simmer option. I'm going to actually bring this up real quick, warm it up as much as I can, but I'm going to take our fish now, and again, that's your fish choice. Just lay it right across the top. Now, what I like to do, I like to season my fish at this point because you don't want just plain tasting fish, although that's not necessarily a bad thing. All right, here we go. I'm using, it's popular in Texas, not sure if it's in other places, but this is called Uncle Chris's Gourmet Fish Seasoning, made by Fiesta brand seasoning. And I'm just going to season that fish. Again, you can use any seasoning that you prefer for fish. Salt and pepper alone would be fine. Doesn't have to be any special seasoning. By the way, I believe this is online. Not 100% sure, but I know there's a local grocery store, Texas grocery store. I'm going to bring this back down to simmer, or it should be simmer, and actually turned off or shut off. Back on. I did put it on simmer, by the way. But you notice this is starting to cook real quick. I'm going to close that up. Because I added more water, I'm going to set this for about 5 more minutes. If you did not have to add water because there was still water in there, maybe 3 minutes would be enough for you. So I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes. Basically, I'm waiting for that water to either get absorbed or evaporate. Because it's covered with a lid there, really the rice is absorbing all that water. So I'm going to peek. So I'm basically going to use a spoon, go in there, move the rice aside, make sure that there is no longer water at the bottom. And even if there is a little tiny bit of water, that's fine. I'm going to shut it off at that point. And when I get to that point, I'll let you know what to do next. All right, we're back. It's been actually about 3 or 4 minutes. And I say 3 or 4 minutes because the timer hasn't gone off yet, not because I checked. What I'm going to do here is just check to make sure. Ooh, look at that, it's already looking good. Actually, it's already absorbed up all the water. I'm going to shut that off. Now that it's off, We're letting that sit for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what type of fish you have. Because I have a nice thick piece of fish, I'm gonna go for 10 minutes. No fire, no artificial heat anymore. We're just using the heat within the rice. And if there is any water left over, the rice is going to absorb that. So 10 minutes. That's what I'm going to go for. Now, I love to barbecue, and I have a bunch of friends that love to barbecue. And anyone from Texas that loves to barbecue knows how to measure time. The way we measure time is 12 ounces at a time. See you in 10 minutes. All right, well, 10 minutes are up. All you need to do at this point is plate your food. I've already done that. Let me show you what we got. So I typically will have greens. Unfortunately, don't have any broccoli or other greens, but we've got some avocado on the side. I had some frozen corn. Check that out. Here's the famous rice and fish. And once it's plated, it's time to eat. Yeah. So guys, thanks again for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. And if you didn't, let me know. If this is not what you want to see, you want to see more ranch stuff, you want to see more fishing, just let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Whether you like it or not, I'm going to enjoy that dinner. We'll see you next time on Back at the Ranch. Thanks for stopping by.